Yes.
Kalawang.
Yes.
Today's episode is called Kalawang.
Kalawang.
Hi, welcome to Sub-Auteurs.
He's Misha, she's Mai, and I'm Anjo. Welcome back, guys.
Yes, it's kind of been forever. A lot of like personal stuff has gone and passed. Like Misha got married.
Yes, I did. Thank you very much. It has been so long. Thankfully, we didn't forget our names, but we have not lost any of our enthusiasm for watching movies.
Yes.
Good or bad?
Good or bad. In other news, the Pope died. Have you thought about your sins? There's a movie now called Sinners. Was that a good segue?
I was thinking that you'd go somewhere along the streaming hours of Conclave right now.
Yeah, Conclave was what hit me first, but yes, Sinners.
Conclave, what else? Two Popes.
I saw Angels and Demons.
Demons. I'm pretty sure people have been seeing it in their algorithms too.
Yes.
Because I have.
With all due respect to fans of the Pope.
Mm-hmm.
Or Catholics.
Fans of the Pope. Okay.
Followers?
Devotee? No, not
Subscribers.
Subscribers. Well, siya vlogger.
My mother's gonna disown me.
So sorry. What a wonderful start.
So we don't know how to do segues anymore.
No. This is exactly the reason why we are all sinners.
Yes.
Wow.
We confess.
Better segue.
Apologies to Ryan Coogler.
This season is off to a great start. Roll the music! So the big movie everyone is talking about is Sinners. And honestly, it is worth the hype. I had a great time. I actually saw it 2 hours ago. So everything is still super fresh for me. And I am excited to hear what you guys think about it.
I have so many thoughts. But
Where do we start?
Okay, first things first. Mai, let's get the thirst portion out.
I was about to say, actually, you kind of read my mind. Let's try not to make this episode
Your mind,
like a
your face,
Halee
your body
Steinfeld
language.
fangirl fanboy episode.
No, I was thinking kasi ang dami. You had like Michael B. Jordan, his twin brother Michael C. Jordan.
That's true.
Halee Steinfeld, you know.
Yes, my bisexuality has never been more confused.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually validated.
Yep.
Actually validated. But yes, obviously, thirst portion. 2 Michael B. Jordans, Michael B. and C. Jordan. And Halee Steinfeld looking phenomenal, acting phenomenally. Actually, this had a good balance of like, okay, I'm not just here to thirst, but they're actually really, really good.
Can I just say though, Halee Steinfeld for 1930s was just scandalous in this movie. She like the way she moved, walked, talked, everything scandalous.
I think
I'm not complaining.
I think from the movies or shows I've seen her in, this is probably the best performance I've seen her do. I was just stunned the whole time. I sent a video clip and I was like, I choked in this scene. Almost choked on my popcorn in this scene.
I'm glad you said popcorn.
I had to make it clear. Dirty-minded you.
Excuse me. This is an audio medium. Nobody knows what you're putting in your mouth.
Anyway,
my idea of Halee Steinfeld was basically mostly Bumblebee and her musical work, which is great. Actually, she can really sing. I like her songs. Very pop, but still not what I would expect from her seeing her now in Sinners. It's like, wow.
She was surprisingly good in the TV series Hawkeye, actually.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, she was good at Hawkeye.
Because Jeremy Renner was all grumpy in that, and she brought the joy and the laughter.
Yep. She was super charming in that movie, in that show. Yeah.
But here in Sinners, I gotta say, what I love about it is that the trailers give away nothing. So if you go in blind, or even if you've seen a trailer, as long as nobody spoiled it for you, you should have an amazing time. I got spoiled.
Aww.
I got spoiled. So I knew fucking going in that it's set that it's vampires. That's the big twist, that you're going to be seeing Michael B. Jordans fighting vampires. Michael's B. Jordan?
Michael B and C Jordan.
Michael
hello to
B. C.
our
Jordan?
producer, Antoinette, who just literally messaged me. Michael B1 and B2 Jordan.
That works too.
Why am I imagining him in a banana suit?
In pajamas?
Pajamas.
What does their friend Rat look like? Wait.
Anyway.
No, but seriously, what I liked about it was it pulls a genre and a tonal shift that you really don't see coming if nobody has ruined it for you. Because like the first 40 minutes or so are straightforward 1930s. It could be a crime flick. It could be a drama. It could be a family. You don't know what it's about yet. You're just seeing these two guys come back from Chicago, coming back from World War I, and they're reconnecting with their roots in Mississippi. The fact that both of these guys is Michael B. Jordan is a plus, is a bonus.
Yep.
Yes.
And you're gonna have like this new generation of kids who think that like Lindsay Lohan had a twin sister, Michael B. Jordan has a twin brother.
Or
It's
that
that
Winklevoss
convincing.
guy.
Who's Winklevoss?
Who's that?
The cannibal dude from The Social Network.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
Army Hammer.
Yeah, that guy.
oh, well.
He played the Winklevi.
I know, but
Winklevoss. A plural of Winklevoss.
But yeah, that I am likening it to Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah.
I do believe there was also this scene, because after watching this movie, I really dove into like interviews and technical
lore.
side. Yeah, not just the lore, also like how they did things technically. That scene where you first see Stack and Smoke, aka the twins,
Yeah.
it is like him passing a cigarette. Like that was so intricately shot that they actually used one of those, cameras, and they had to like really measure to the like little details, like where you're gonna hold this to, that kind of stuff.
How you're gonna pass
So
it?
wait,
Yeah.
wait, so he really passed it to himself. They didn't like stick somebody else's arm in there and hand it to
never
himself.
know.
That's really hard to do. 'cause
It is very hard
It
to
is
do.
very
Very
hard to do. I
That's
think,
motion control shit.
yeah, really hard. So
I mean, after having worked for 2 big budget blockbuster Marvel movies, I guess he would know a few things.
I suppose. But the thing is, Ryan Coogler, what I like about him is that he's basically, every movie he's made has been a first for him. Like Fruitvale Station was like his first feature length. Black Panther was his first superhero movie. Black Panther 2 was his first sequel. Creed was his first sports movie. And now this is his first horror movie, which again, if nobody's spoiled it for you yet, you have no idea that it's even a horror movie going in.
Which is still great.
It is.
I mean, that's a great thing for a director, like constantly pushing your boundaries. And I've also seen some people say, like, whenever they watch a Ryan Coogler movie, they learn something new, which is
Yes.
great. Like, whether it's like a new technique that's been done in the, the mise en scène, whatever. Yeah, but whether it's new technical techniques or like maybe a whole new culture that you're going to, unless you're not part of that culture, or maybe even if you are, you're learning a whole lot because it's so well researched too. All those things are very Ryan Coogler.
This is why I think Ryan Coogler is an amazing director. Is that if you look at his entire repertoire. Repertoire. Big words.
Big word.
His movies are so different from each other. Like, if you look at his first movie, Fruitvale Station, it's something that is grounded in realism. But if you take a look at the rest, like you have Creed, which is a sport movie. You have Black Panther, which is out of this world. It's fantasy, right? And then you have the sequel, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. And now you have this horror movie. Each of those, at least, are all grounded in realism. If you look at all the characterizations of the characters, he really took some time to develop those characters. All the arcs are closed at some point. It's just this detail of attention he has when he crafts his storytelling, which is why he's amazing.
Something I can also say about Ryan Coogler films, they're never shallow.
No,
Absolutely.
absolutely
They're
not.
never shallow. There's always this very deep-rooted message that he wants to say, especially like this could have been like a message that's gone on for his particular race for generations. And I felt walking out of this movie, like there are probably some nuances I, as a non-African American, might not understand, but I appreciate learning about it, especially because with these themes that these are things that his people has gone through, and interesting to see also comparing to now that it's still quite unfortunately relevant.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's amazing that he still relates to it because on some level he does speak his truth. It's probably something he has experienced or is still experiencing currently now, or if not him personally, it's somebody he knows who's experiencing that. That's why it's amazing because
it's not shallow in a sense as well. That like, because horror movies, you can be shallow as fuck. You know, you can just make horror movies just for the heck of it.
Jump scares.
For the fun, for the blood, for the gore, for the entertainment value. But this manages to also like have a statement, like a big statement.
I love that you said that because I absolutely agree. Because like one of my favorite movies that pulls a whole tonal and genre shift, and also with vampires, is From Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh yeah,
yes.
For the first 30 minutes, it's a Quentin Tarantino crime flick. But when the vampires show up, it becomes a full-on
Robert Rodriguez
blockbuster Robert Rodriguez movie with ultra violence and gore and Salma Hayek.
And penis guns.
And a snake. But here, when that shit starts happening, it's for the purpose of sharing a message. It's not vampires just to have a good time. He actually has something that he wants to get off his chest and he wants to share it with you. So what did you guys think the movie was about? What was your takeaway?
It was a lot of things, but the one thing,
it's so hard to pinpoint.
The one thing that really stuck to me right after watching, I was telling my wife Posh about this, was that it really is something about culture per se. It's not just black culture. Because if you take a look at the characters, you have the Chinese immigrants. So that's something I learned more recently, is that there were Chinese immigrants.
They built the railways.
They did. They're also used for cotton picking.
If they were slaves.
They were slaves too, as well as Mexicans in that era. So that's quite interesting. And if you look at that one scene, I'm guessing you guys will all know what scene I'm going to be talking about. It's that one scene where Preacher Boy starts singing.
Oh my God.
That was amazing.
The most amazing scene in this movie.
Holy
for
shit. That was fucking amazing.
Okay, so here's my thing about why it's all about culture and what maybe Ryan Coogler was trying to convey is that culture can be a lot of things. You could either be held back by culture or you can make it your own, which is what Preacher Boy eventually did. Sammy, which is what he eventually did. He took it on his own, evolved it, which is why he started playing Delta Blues, made it his own, started playing with electric. And then back in that scene, in that mid-credit scene where you have Stack saying he liked it the old way. That's because he's a vampire. He's basically stuck in a time period, or like the way he was in the 1930s. Now he still liked the old version.
Okay.
That's one takeaway.
Yeah.
Among many other things.
Yeah, I know, there's so much.
It's just, this movie is so loaded.
If you say culture, I would say spirituality.
Yes.
Because there are different aspects of spirituality. There's vampirism. There is even Christianity, which is obviously where Sammy's background, Preacher Boy's background.
Preacher Boy.
There is also music as something like a very inherently spiritual experience, which we all saw in that scene. Like, it transcends generations. It really transcends time, or even maybe you would say dimensions. So I'm not sure if I could say faith, but just like spirituality in general. And you find whatever feels like home to you. Because for different characters, home is different. Sammy has been looking for it in music. Okay, we're going to go into spoiler territory here. But for Stack and Mary, it's embracing the vampirism and being together forever without the repercussions that were tearing them apart when they were humans. So that's where they found home. And Smoke found home in the afterlife with his wife and their unborn child. So it's really a matter of where you are feeling at home the most. And it doesn't matter if it's a particular religion or if it's a particular belief also. Because for the villain as well, Remick, he finds like also being a vampire is his home, because this is where he also kind of like tries to brainwash people in it. Hey, we're happy here. There is no racism here. We're all just being one big happy family. So it's like so different for every single person. And also, unfortunately, the other side of the coin, there's the KKK also, which, that's their home. That's where they're comfortable. And, it's just like so many different facets of humanity and what they choose.
Also, I feel like there's just so much layers that
It's so layered.
adding to what you mentioned about vampirism, I think vampirism here is used as a symbol for cultural appropriation.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
This is what I love the most, because when he was attracted by a preacher boy singing, he was like, "Come join us." It's you that it was him that we wanted. That
Yeah.
I
He
want.
straight up says it. I want your song.
I want your songs.
Like culture vulture, that
Well,
kind of thing.
I mean, I like what you said about being comfortable where you feel at home, because for me, the movie was about two things. One is power and the other is possession. It's about what you're willing to hold on to reach that home that you said. Because like, remember at 200-300 years ago, the reason that the Irish were going to America was because they were persecuted minorities of their own. And the guy actually says it in the movie.
He sings it.
Christianity was forced on, Catholicism was forced on them as a tool of subjugation by the British. And later on, their own potato famines led to them running to America. So they were persecuted minorities. And this persecuted minority is now seeing fit to put his POV onto this other minority, which is the African American community. And the only way that he sees that they can get along is if they agree to join his way of life, to be where he's comfortable, and basically lose themselves in the process. So I like the idea of having something that you can hold on to, and that's where the possession comes in, something you can hold on to that's inherently yours that nobody can take away. And so I completely understood where they were coming from in even just not letting them into the party, because that was something that was purely for them.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't just a party for party's sake. It was a place where they could be truly free, where
It's a
nobody
safe
had
space.
nobody had power over them.
Yeah.
And that's why the other immigrants, the Chinese immigrants, were also welcome. And that's why even their spirituality manifested during that incredible music scene.
Yep.
Fucking amazing scene.
Because there they could all be themselves. It didn't matter if they were black or Chinese or mixed, like Halee Steinfeld. They could just be themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
I kind of feel bad for Halee Steinfeld though. Like, apparently she's been getting hate for playing somebody who has mixed race.
She is
But she is mixed race.
But she doesn't look like one, so she doesn't have to deal with it. Which
Well,
is kind of
well,
stupid.
well, hence,
Basically the
like-
character.
Also the character, but also how racism works. Oh, you don't look like a certain way. you know?
Exactly, which is quite ironic. Like this is exactly why this movie's message is like this.
And it's called out there too. It's like, how come she gets to stay in the party?
she's family.
Damn straight.
Yeah. And I love how we have different takeaways, but it's all in there, but we're not wrong either way.
It's I mean, like Ryan Coogler's views on pressures from white society on an African American, or even like how oppression, imperialism, colonialism have affected
Cultural appropriation.
people over the centuries. I like how I like the device of having two Michael B. Jordans because
Me too.
Mai had twice the fun. I'm sure she did.
I'm not alone, I'm sure.
I like the idea of having the twins because, again, they are two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
And one of them literally sells his soul to join this new world, in this case, vampirism. And that's how he's able to integrate and live on quietly throughout the decades versus Preacher Boy, who holds on to his values. He holds on literally and figuratively. Like when he goes into that church, he will not even let go of the remains of that guitar because it's so personal to him at this point. And I like that he, at the end, when he's given a choice of immortality or death, he chooses to stick to his guns because no, this is who I am and I'm not willing to give it up. You gave up who you are. Your brother didn't. And I like that there's two of them because we see what the different consequences for each of them is. One of them literally sticks to his guns.
Goes all Rambo and some racists.
And we see how his story ends.
Yeah.
But the other one, because he integrated, quote unquote, he gets to go on living. But even he admits the last time he was happy was the day he the day before he became a vampire.
Yeah.
That was the last time he was truly himself.
I kind of want to talk about the twins now that you mentioned them, just because of how differently they've been represented visually. If you take a look at the colors that they are wearing.
Yes, red and blue.
Red being the color of blood. Blue, I think blue represents a color of protection. And even their names meant something. Smoke and Stack.
Yeah.
Like, I think even the real names, like Elijah
and Elias.
Yeah, that also has like biblical references as well. So it's so deep. It's so fucking deep.
I still have
no. That goes back to what I said about two sides of the same coin. Because Elias is actually just another form of Elijah.
Yes.
So they're basically the same dude.
Yes. But slight differences about that.
Yeah, one is charming, one is more reserved.
One is more protective.
Greedy, one is,
One is a smooth talker.
Yeah.
The other one is more of a reserved, tough guy.
One has a baby, one has Halee Steinfeld.
Yes. A stillborn baby.
Oh, that scene was just so bittersweet. And when you see that, he's about to die because he can see Annie in the other side. And it's just so intimate, like how she is breastfeeding and she's like, here is the child we lost.
I love that scene.
Come join us.
And then he's like, there's this like dying KKK guy who is like, fuck off. He proceeds to shoot him.
And she goes so mom on this, like, you want to join us? Put out that cigarette. It's like, it's so beautiful.
It's one of the best closings, one of the best closers to a character arc.
Absolutely. I was so happy for him, honestly, because he was back with the people he loved. And also another thing, what I said earlier about cultural integration and you lose a part of yourself, right? I mean, again, Coogler just fucking spelled it out for you when you see Cornbread and you see Mary joining in this Irish jig for like, what the shit?
That was weird. That's
they were joining this Irish folk dance. Like 10 seconds after becoming vampires. And again, they were no longer the people they were. They just, and it's such a good movie.
for the lack of better words for it.
General conclusion that it's so freaking good.
There were just a lot of scenes in this movie that I never thought I'd talk about. Like I never thought I'd see Halee Steinfeld perform this way. Like especially that one scene when she starts talking to Stack on the train station and she says like, "Yeah, you kissed me, said goodbye, and then you stuck your dick up."
Okay.
Tongue.
Okay.
I want to also point out somebody super underrated. Annie is so good.
No, Annie was probably one of the best.
Annie's one of my favorite characters. Like the badass way she just figures out like, okay, this is like through her version of her spirituality, which is
hoodoo.
Hoodoo. She saves the fucking day. And she's so amazing. And I also love how she is also so true to her spirituality and her belief that she does tell Michael B. Jordan, okay, if I get bitten, please kill me. Like, the conviction to how she is and what she believes in. It's like, I'm not joining these motherfuckers.
Damn right. I'm not going to be Irish.
She was one of the most painful deaths.
I know. And even Vampire Mary
felt it.
Yeah, they were grieving her too.
Yeah, I kind of like that. I kind of like that scene where Mary just screams and runs off when she dies, just because it shows you that they still keep a part of themselves.
Yeah, they do.
On some level.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Annie, we've seen her before. That's Wonmi Mosaku. She's the administrator in Loki. And in Deadpool she's a TVA agent. And I like that she's given a major part here. You're right. Her spirituality is on full display and she's not ashamed of it. She hasn't let go of it. She's still very traditional, but she's also not blind to the realities of this new world.
Yeah.
And you're right. It's only because of her that they survived the night. And I think that's why I appreciate the first half of the movie even more. Because yes, it's a slow burn, but because you get to know everybody, we actually care when shit starts to happen.
Yeah.
And I love it because it feels like a real cast of characters with real lives and real problems, so that when all the fantastical things start happening, you're completely on their side.
You're completely invested. That's the one thing I loved about this, is because you only have half a day to get to know characters. It's not like in any other films where it's stretched out days, so you get to know the aspects of a character's personality throughout an entire stretch of time. This one, you literally have hours to get to know them, yet there's so much content with how much you get to know what their ideals are, what their beliefs are, which is amazing because it's so hard to do that.
It's either through their stories or even the decisions they make.
Exactly.
Like, for example, the Asian mom, Grace. Like, we all know that part where we're like groaning, like, oh, why did you do that?
I know. I was so mad at her.
I wasn't though. I understood why.
Exactly. You hate that she did it. It's kind of selfish in a way.
But
you kind of get it because you know the rationale behind that. It's because she's like, fuck, I'm not gonna let them get to my daughter.
She was threatened.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do what I have to.
Exactly. It's frustrating, it's annoying, but you still get it.
Yeah. It was still quite satisfying. That battle cry was really fun to watch.
You know, I generally am not a fan of that trope where if you kill the lead bad guy, all his minions just fall down. And I thought that's where it was going when Remick got hit in the head with a guitar. Because all of them were like, ah. But then later on, that's not what does them in. What does them in is that they all get hit by the sunrise. To which I gotta ask, look, I know they're poor, but did nobody have a wristwatch? Did nobody see the sky turning orange? Like, yo, we're all a bunch of vampires. I know we're new at this, but isn't that bad?
Maybe they don't. Actually,
Really?
Maybe they
But they
don't.
figured out that I gotta be invited in.
They should have known because Remick said that they knew each other's memories, which is why Grace went nuts.
That's why Remick can speak Chinese.
Yeah. Horrible Chinese, by the way.
I know, right? What the actual hell?
Wow, I'm so proud of you. You know Chinese. You actually do know Chinese.
When it's convenient, he knows Chinese.
Yeah, when it's convenient. I mean, 13 years of Chinese education.
Okay.
Ah.
I
You
just wanted-
too.
You know, when it's convenient.
Okay, random thought. To the millennials listening, millennials who grew up on Skins, aren't you just so proud of Jack O'Connell?
Yes.
It's like whenever you see someone from Skins do really well or like be having these big roles. I mean, Nicholas Hoult, obviously, like
Fine, yeah.
arguably the biggest Skins star. When you saw like
Kaya Scodellero.
yeah, and of course
Cassie.
You can do it.
everybody like Jack O'Connell. I haven't seen him in such a long time, but I was like, hey, he looks familiar. It's like, oh, it's cool. And so sorry, got excited there. But he's an amazing villain. I'm just so happy.
And he can dance a mean jig.
Yes.
So I can't get over the Irish folk dancing. But I think also what I liked about that, and I'm not saying I like Irish folk dancing, no offense. I'm just like, how come you get to hold on to your cultural heritage, but we got to give up ours for your benefit? You know?
That's why it's appropriation.
And that's why it's appropriation. And that's why it offended me on a subconscious level that Cornbread and Mary were just, dancing along and singing along. And later on, Chinese guy was joining the in.
Bo Chow, I think that was his name, or was that the
Bo.
actor's name?
So I was like, and that guy was charming as hell.
Yeah. First time I saw Chinese people with a southern accent. I've never seen that before. I've never seen that in a movie, which is like, interesting.
Something I also want to touch on, like there's so much to talk about. I love how this is also a love letter to the blues.
Oh, definitely.
My God, yes.
Delta
Like,
blues to be specific.
It's not just like obviously Sammy and also Delta Slim being amazing blues musicians, but the musical direction
Oh my Lord.
is amazing. It starts out with just like simple guitar when things are slow burn, but then when you get to again that amazing scene or like at the juke joint, everything just like comes there and it's just also so seamlessly integrated into the scenes, even through that like big spiritual scene with Sammy. Somehow it's blues and then it turns into hip hop and then somehow it seamlessly turns into like some
that's the work-
traditional Chinese. Like, oh my God.
That's the
That
work
was
of
amazing.
Ludwig Göransson. So he's a constant collaborator of Ryan Coogler.
I
Fucking
see.
orgasm.
Yeah, he did Black
Fantastic.
Panther score also.
Fantastic.
Oh yeah. I mean,
He did Creed.
And the fact that it's presented more or less as a oneer, as a one continuous shot throughout the movie, throughout a party of dancing people with choreography and different performers from different time periods appearing organically somehow. And the fact that it meshed perfectly with the music, it was just heaven. It was just fucking heaven.
That one scene. I had an audible gasp. I think I was the loudest one in the cinema when I saw this. So when that scene just hit, I was like,
I was not breathing.
I did not see that coming at all. I mean, first electric guitar dude shows up and I'm like, wait, what? That wasn't an invented. Holy shit. And then it didn't stop. It kept going and getting bigger and bigger.
Suddenly someone's twerking.
Because it's like
there's a DJ.
It's like the message was so constant. Those gifted with the talent of music can actually convey music all across the generation. It transcends time and space.
And they set the roof on fire. Like legit. They did.
The roof is on fire.
And then even the vampires could see it. So I'm like, can they see this? Is it really happening? Like the magical realism crossed with horror is not something I had on my bingo card for a vampire movie from the director of Black Panther.
And Creed.
Like,
if you look at all of the movies he's done, it's just so hard.
Where did this come from?
Yeah, I know. The only thing in common with all those movies is Michael B. Jordan.
I know. Maybe Michael B. Jordan is his lucky charm.
I mean, he's a constant collaborator, I think.
You call it a muse? I don't know if it's still appropriate to say muse
Tropa.
for a dude. I don't know.
Amused, roused.
Well, I'm amused.
Aroused?
Well, that's a different story. I shall walk off now.
But, I mean...
Okay. Visually, this thing is amazing, but I did not have the benefit of seeing it in IMAX.
Same. Everything.
So I want to know, because I know he shot it both ways. And have you seen the memes with the size of the IMAX reels and how
I know.
It's insane?
Because I know he was very specific with what format he would shoot this in because it was supposed to convey.
So he shot it on 35 and 70.
Yeah, that's why I'm annoyed because, I had to work with the schedule that I had. Because
Same here. I just saw it 3 hours
ago.
ago.
You were still able to see the changes in aspect ratio, right?
Yeah, but we wanted to maximize the experience.
Yeah.
Lucky you.
I wanted to be in the movie.
Yeah.
So what was it like in the IMAX?
Glorious. Fucking glorious.
Yeah, man.
At first it was jarring. It's like, wait. Even if I kind of had an idea already, but when it's there, it's like, it makes you think, okay, what realm am I in? Not necessarily realm, but okay, is it creepy vampire time, or is it like, just your usual day-to-day? But yeah, it's just, there are no words. I really do recommend seeing it on IMAX.
Yeah, which is why I want to rewatch it.
I also want to rewatch. Hey, you want to go with me?
It's a date.
We have wives.
They wouldn't care.
They have wives.
Really?
You really? Yeah, I don't think
no,
they
no. I mean, I better ask Deng. I don't want to, Anyways, moving on. Before we wrap up, I have to touch on the fact that technically with this movie, Ryan Coogler was able to work out a deal with Warner Brothers that essentially makes him one of the most powerful directors in Hollywood history.
I don't know how he was able to negotiate this. But
you heard about the deal he made, right? I mean, first off, he gets... Okay, you know how like people like Tom Cruise or whatever, they get a portion of the back end. So that means they get profits after the movie has made back its money. That's when they start to get a cut. But Ryan Coogler was able to make a deal where he gets a first dollar cut. So that from every dollar the movie makes, he gets a cut. He doesn't have to wait until the movie makes back its money. That's number one. Number two, he gets final cut approval. And number three, the movie, after 25 years, doesn't belong to Warner Brothers anymore. It goes back to him.
Number three is the most insane thing.
That is insane. People are saying this is the end of the studio system as we know it. Because after 25 years, the artist reclaims his art.
That's insane. And the thing is, he doesn't have a long list of movies like other directors do.
Yeah, he's not a Spielberg. He's not,
he's not a Spielberg. It's not that I'm saying he's not as talented. It's just that I'm saying he's relatively new to the game.
That's true.
His first movie... this guy basically started running when he started with filmmaking. This movie was a hit in those independent film fests. And then right after that, he does Creed.
Yep.
Which is a blockbuster hit. It's insane. Right after Creed, from $35 million, he gets a $900 million movie, which was Black Panther.
That's insane.
So
that is just
what
insane.
does this say?
I mean, the more cynical side of me is thinking that Warner Brothers, it's no secret, they've not been in a great place the last couple of years. So I think they were just all too happy to give him whatever he wanted. But also that brings me to number 2. I think it wasn't so much that they don't want to be making sequels to this movie so much as they just wanted to be in the business of Ryan Coogler. They want to foster a relationship with him. Remember, they lost Christopher Nolan by doing that same-day release on HBO Max without telling their directors beforehand.
So they're looking for a new muse?
I think they want an in-house talent, or at least the closest you can get to one at this point in time. They need a hit. And I think Sinners has been a fantastic success for everybody involved. It's making a ton of money at the box office, It's second only to Minecraft, I think. They've been doing first and second place for the last couple of weeks, Minecraft, and then now there's Thunderbolts. But I think that it's been very good for them, and I cannot wait to see what Ryan Coogler can do next with major studio support.
Yeah.
But it's also interesting that after 25 years, even if Warner Brothers does a Sinners 2, 3, 4, and 5, after 25 years, Ryan Coogler gets it back and he can say, okay, those things don't count. Now I'll give you a real sequel.
Because the rights go back to him.
And he can do whatever he wants. He can make it a cartoon. He can make it a musical. He can make it a comic book. He can show, Stack and Mary in the old folks' vampires' home. I don't know. But it's just interesting. It's an interesting time to be a filmmaker.
But it's also like for those who aren't like exactly familiar with how these deals usually go. Because to be honest, to me, I'm not really too familiar with how the deals go on the studio side of things. But it just surprises me. Like, artists in the first place don't have ownership to their work.
For a lot of the time, yeah. They're basically, it's work for hire. Whatever you create, the studio pays for it, so they own it at the end of the day. That's why George Lucas doesn't own the first Star Wars. Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi are very, very expensive independent movies because he refused to work with a studio again after that first one. Gave him a heart attack. Like literally put him in the hospital. He had a heart attack. So he's like, number 1, I'm never directing again. And number 2, I don't want to work with a studio. The only thing 20th Century Fox did for Empire and Jedi was distribute because that's all he would let them do.
I see. Like different deals. Like it's a business at the end of the day. But yeah, it's such a difficult conversation, like the artistry and the business side of things, I guess.
Truly.
Yep.
Okay, so I think it's safe to say that we all would watch this movie again because some of us didn't get to watch it in IMAX.
2/3 of us.
I would still watch it again.
Maybe we should all watch this together.
I really want to watch it. One, because I want to watch it on IMAX. 2, because I just want to absorb everything again. Because I think one run through isn't enough.
Yeah, there's just so much this film has to say that you really won't get everything the first time.
Because again, like you said, it touches on themes of spirituality, on family, colonialism, cultural appropriation, music, religion. I mean, this thing is incredible, and I am just amazed that it all holds together. And it all comes together conceptually, visually, thematically, even from a directing and performance standpoint. There are no weak links. I think this is the best movie of the year. It's only 4 months in.
Oh wow, bold claim,
honestly,
sir.
This is the best movie I've seen this year.
Well,
so far.
I agree. So
far. Same, I agree. So should I ask this question? I mean, I'd be remiss to call Ryan Coogler the A word.
Oh no.
How many times have we brought this up so far?
Is he an
auteur?
Is he an auteur? Wait, does he check all the boxes? He has a constant list of collaborators. Sorry, let me rephrase that. He has a list of constant collaborators. Chief among them would be Michael B. Jordan. Sometimes his twin brother, Michael C. Jordan.
Well, I feel like visually, it's also so rich. Like who he collaborates with is also such a big deal. Because like always the production design, the costume design also of his films are very, very distinct.
Interestingly enough, his costume designer for this one, he worked with, I think, for Black Panther.
Yeah.
And she was so ready to go because she was also tapped for the Blade movie.
Yeah. I also read about that. So I would say, I guess yes, because
I mean, his themes are always constant. It's all about personal identity relative to culture. There's that, you can see that in Creed. You can see that in the second Black Panther movie, right?
You know what? I would, yes.
Would you call him an auteur?
Yes.
This early in his career? Yeah, I think we're heading in that direction. I'm hesitant.
He's trending in that direction.
But I think he's trending in that direction. But you know what? I think I'm going to watch Sinners one more time or two more times or three more times. And then maybe I might have a better answer for you.
That's a lot of times.
Let us know what you guys think. I mean, this movie blew us away, and we're hoping that maybe you guys had a similar reaction. Let us know in the comments. Subscribe, and follow us.
All the usual,
subscribe.
All the usual social stuff.
All the usual stuff. Yes, we're at Sub-Auteurs Podcast. So, yeah, another great start. Hopefully, we'll be seeing more of these great conversations. But yes, do follow us on our socials and subscribe to this podcast channel wherever you get your podcasts. And hopefully, it's going to be a good year for movies and for talking about them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Until next time, we are the Sub-Auteurs. I'm Misha.
I'm Mai.
And I'm Angelo.